Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're at Interop, New York, 2011. At the Jacob Javits Center on our program today, Steven Shalita, who's the VP of Marketing at NetScout. Steven, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rich. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's start at the top. Tell me about NetScout.
Well, NetScout's focused on service delivery management, focused on really helping IT organizations manage user experience.
So, from the standpoint of helping customers, specifically, what pain do you take away for your customers?
Well, I think there's a couple of key areas. First is the ability for the IT organization to understand that user experience is suffering. Users are having problems with applications or services. And then the second piece is enabling them to go and identify what the cause of that problem is and where to focus their effort to solve the problem.
Now, in terms of this event, are there things that you've been showing that have been interesting that people have commented on?
We haven't announced anything specifically at this event, but building off of Interop earlier in the year, where we announced our ingenious Voice Video Manager product, which was the basis of some technology we acquired earlier this year. That tends to be one of the more sought after hot items within our portfolio, and that's our ability to manage unified communications environments, voice and video together from a single performance management platform.
Now, how is the market evolving?
Well, it's evolving in a number of ways. Certainly, we see a lot of changes from a technology perspective, right? Bandwidth consumption, increasing requirements from applications, more latency sensitive applications. But one of the changes that we see that's happening in the sense of the approaches, which is build the infrastructure to support this, add more bandwidth, is we see a dramatic shift towards the emphasis of managing what you have more effectively, addressing user experience challenges early, and being much more proactive around service quality and user experience.
Now, and that's becoming more of an issue because there's more video and audio and voice on the network as well, right?
It's a combination of that, how the networks are changing, how applications on the networks are changing, but also IT's attitude about dealing with problems more proactively as opposed to reactively. See, traditionally management has been something that is always an afterthought to most IT organizations, both from a budget as well as a priority perspective. Now IT organizations are tending to be much more proactive in how do I build a strategy to effectively manage these services and deliver on this expectation of I'm building a network, right? But I'm really putting applications on that network to deliver better user productivity, to improve my overall operation. And now organizations are actually focusing on proactively managing that as opposed to just throwing technology at the problem.
And it's something they're going to have to do continuously, right? You can't proactively manage unless you're constantly managing.
Absolutely. You can't really proactively manage things without visibility, without understanding what's happening. And there's a number of different approaches to doing that. One of the biggest debates today in our market around service management is, do you monitor the network and how the network's operating, or do you monitor the application and understand how the application's performing inside the server, the so-called application performance management. And really what's required today is look at that holistically, both from the network and the application perspective, to get to really this notion of service delivery. How is that service living from the data center all the way to the point in which it's consumed by the user? And it doesn't matter whether it's a data application, ERP, CRM, or a unified communications application. They're applications living on the network.
It's amazing how these networks today are more living and breathing than ever. There's so many challenges that network administrators and network managers have to deal with, from attacks, network attacks that may be flooding the network, whether that's internal or external, distributed denial of service, and applications and rogue applications and video and all sorts of things that are happening on the network. And in this challenging environment, what is your advice to people that are putting together these networks? And what are a few things that they should be aware of that will help their network deal with all of the challenges, but allow them to have an adequate level of service delivery?
I think it's an excellent question. And before I answer that, just to cap on a point around the security aspects, the distributed denial of service, flooding attacks, more and more we see that one of two trajectories is happening from a security perspective. One is theft of data, right? That data loss prevention is a big issue, but also it's disruptive to the network. Many of the distributed DDoS attacks and other things are meant to disrupt and take the network down, which has a direct impact on service performance and user experience. So to bridge that to your point, it really starts with pervasiveness of visibility, understanding what's going on within this network environment end to end, from the data center, the point in which applications are created and hosted, to the point in which they're consumed, whether that be in the campus, the branch office, or remote environments. Understanding that is critical. Second is being able to scale to deal with the range of applications and the capacity that's existing on this network environment. You have to be able to see all applications. You have to see the web-based environments, the UC, video conferencing, desktop video, voice, all of that comprehensively to understand it, and being able to extract intelligence from the network environment. IDC just recently had a discussion on network intelligence, and there's a tremendous amount of value that exists within this network environment that not only helps manage it better, understand issues before a large number of users are impacted, solve those problems quickly, but also business analytics to understand how your data is being used, how effective your organization is, and even understanding customer behavior as it relates to network use.
Now what's next?
I think it's really bringing all those together much more effectively. For us, we just recently acquired the voice video analysis technology. It's really about integrating that in to our core solution set, the Ingenious Service Assurance solution, because today we can share what we integrated since Interop in Las Vegas is allowing our users to use the same appliances to monitor both voice, video, as well as data services, but really integrating that, because if you think of how IT organization, especially a call center, is using technology today, it's not just voice or video or data, it's all three.
Right.
And that how is that application performing, how is the voice service performing, and video conferencing in the proliferation of unified communications desktops with Microsoft Lync, IBM same time, getting that broader sense. So for us, it's really about integrating that and then bringing more of a security set of capabilities into our portfolio, both from an early warning perspective as well as from a forensics perspective. We just closed on an acquisition of a company on the forensic side that will give us a better view into user experience and historical session reconstruction to actually go in and analyze what someone did from a networked application.
So if you had a break-in or attempted break-ins, you can kind of reconstruct it, right? And
yes.
And try to see what are people doing.
It actually, so typically to this point, if someone wanted to go and reconstruct it within our technology and the forensics, we have the packets, so we can reconstruct everything.
Sure.
So as an example, we would see a problem, a deviation, something abnormal, but with the reconstruction you can see how they came in, what the path is they took, and theoretically what they actually took. But it was a very complex process sifting through packets to figure it out. This technology that we acquired will give us the ability to see exactly what happened at the end of that flow the same way the user saw it on the screen. So if you're doing web, it sees click by click everything that was done, or any type of application, literally reconstructing it. Traditionally it's been used by law enforcement agencies to understand from a cyber crime perspective what someone is doing. We'll adapt that technology in both user experience management to better understand performance and application behavior, as well as the cybersecurity forensics.
That's great. Well, because I mean, we're running short on time here, but you bring up such an amazing point, because not only do companies have to deal with hackers, but they have to deal with rogue nations that, I don't know if rogue nations, let's just say nations that are using, I guess, the web to fight other countries by attacking their corporations.
Absolutely, the internet.
So
and
we're dealing with countries. I
Right.
mean, you're literally so the corporations in any given country is a target because it's part of that country, and so part of the national defense really needs to be around those corporations. And until there is a national defense, which a government is going to design, which I doubt they're going to be able to do effectively, each company has to deal with not only protecting themselves from hackers, script kiddies, internal challenges that you've got people that are unhappy inside, or WikiLeaks type situations,
Right.
But now also nations that are attacking corporations, trying to steal their data, their trade secrets.
Exactly.
et cetera.
And being able to take WikiLeaks as an example, and it's strictly an example, but from an early warning perspective with anomaly-based detection, you would have seen that abnormal behavior. That person entered the network legitimately, they authenticated, there was nothing known that was abnormal other than the volume of things they were doing,
Right.
which was odd. So anomaly detection would have seen that. And with the right kind of forensics, which they still don't know today, you would have actually known what was taken from the network environment.
Right.
The challenge in your context, in your example, is on the reverse side is also how do you keep this technology from being abused by nations that want to do censorship
absolutely.
and suppression,
Absolutely.
which is not really the goal of it.
It's
really
it's a challenge. I mean, eventually they're going to have this technology, whether it's from you or somewhere else. They're going to get it. So
Right.
that is a big challenge. But
It is.
So it sounds like we need to have another interview at some point in the future to elaborate on these topics.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me.